So,
search
so
for.
today we're talking about basically like a recap of what you learned at eXpCON, what was good, what was bad, what was not good, what was not bad. Um, I had some fun times there, but I'll let you take the host because I don't want to talk that much till it's time to talk, and I'll talk.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody has a lot to add. I'm going to put it out there to everyone what their biggest ahas and takeaways or nuggets were from it. I mean, there are agents on here from other companies. We're not trying to push EXP in your face. We're just sharing with you things that we took out of it that you could put into action in your business today. So in progress. With that being said, I know Ross the Boss Stout was there. Randy, you got to mute. I know Ross the Boss Stout was at eXpCON, and what were your biggest takeaways? What did you love? What are you going to put into action? How do you feel it'll help your business?
Well, first of all, like I loved seeing most of you in person and getting to hang out for a bit, for an extended period of time. So that was awesome. I loved that. Getting to know this group and the people affiliated with all of you was really special for me. Putting faces with names. It's fantastic experience. So that was a huge takeaway. And for those who participate in this call on a weekly basis, like it was great to meet you and put a face to your names that I see on the attendance list. And anyway, I was just really stoked to see everybody, meet everybody. That was a huge takeaway. And then getting to meet people globally, our brokerage is such a cool platform, and being able to see the full power of it in action was really a cool experience. And I'll just share and again, brand agnostic, but I've just completed my first year with EXP. And before that, I had a boutique brokerage for 10 years. And when I set out on my journey to find where my final home would be for my real estate business, my main goal was to try and make the world a little smaller. And going to my first eXpCon did not disappoint. I saw how small the world can really be now in this virtual era. We can be anywhere with anyone at any time, and we can use this great platform to do business anywhere with anyone at any time. And that is a huge takeaway for me, just understanding that we're one phone call away from one of our growth advisors or an international team member or even a domestic team member to make a connection that will help grow our business into that next level that you can never dreamed of. And I'll just say this in my final EXP thought was I had 5-year goals coming into working here at EXP, and I achieved 99% of them in 1 year. Like it's just been a phenomenal platform. I got to see the true power of what my business model is connected with this huge platform, and it's really been game changing. So one, it's always good to see all of you guys. Two, it's great to see the people that I don't get to see on my screen here that are participating in this. And three, just the power of EXP on full display has been awesome. For implementation, it's been a huge networking opportunity. I met with some people from all over the country, and just having a cool place to be to bounce ideas off each other on how we can all work synergistically, was fantastic. So the networking aspect, meeting people in the EXP realm that are actually employees of EXP that can help launch our business to the next level, making those connections was huge. So the networking and connection aspect of really learning of how small I'm really thinking was awesome, because I think I'm thinking big, and then all of a sudden somebody gives me a nugget and it's like, oh, there's another level of this, and then there's another level, and there's another level. So I just want to peel all those back and launch full throttle. So I'm coming away inspired, laser focused on what I want to do, and with people around me to help move in that direction. So that was my big takeaways from eXpCON.
Give me one nugget that you're gonna implement and put into action immediately in your business.
Immediately? Well, man, I can't give away the full bag. I got to launch it out, man. But that the one nugget is really honing in on growth, and along with my metric sets, employing accountability and motivation on a more routine basis outside of my once a week sales call. So I want to set up separate avenues, give my team opportunities to find one niche or several niches and the opportunities that I can give them, and then build out a set that they can get fully immersed in and grow their own individual businesses underneath our awesome umbrella that we'll be launching. So I know that's kind of ambiguous and it's a weird nugget, but yeah, that's been mine. It was the connections and the vision of what can happen here.
Okay, that's really good. I like those things. Dennis, mute your thing. Everybody who's not talking, please mute. All you have to do is press the button on your computer. It's really hard. I want to go over to Mitchie because Mitch is still going through puberty and he loses his voice usually around 11 o'clock. So we got to get him while he still has a voice. Mitch, what did you get out of the conference, and what were the big takeaways that you're going to execute?
So yeah, so honestly, I mean, obviously it's always great seeing everybody and getting to hug all my buddies like you guys, because I love you guys. And vaguely remember a couple of nights, but no, I'm kidding. But I would say honestly, the biggest impact to me was the first speaker, Jesse. I don't remember Jesse's Itzler, I think his name is. And as you guys know, I'm on a mission to change people's lives, to find balance and to not not kill yourself and miss all the important things in life. And that's really what his message was. It's like, yeah, work your ass off, but do it in a time that this is your time, working within your time and not miss the most important things. His picture was him holding his dad's hand, which was very powerful to me because losing both my parents at a young age, and we miss those moments in life that are the most important thing that we do. And for some reason, we've as a society, we've put our businesses in the forefront. We people like myself, and I've changed this over the last few years because of what I've learned is business, family, and myself is my typical life of me. And I've changed that now. It's really family, me, and then my business. And I will tell you, it's changed my life dramatically. And so, I'm on this mission with my new coaching business and all this stuff. And I was like, really, honestly, the last couple of weeks, questioning myself, like, do I really want to at 63 years old get into this whole new venture, that's gonna, be a lot more work for me. But I'm like, yeah, because it's about impacting people, and I think that's really good. I did teach a class on it in there, which was kind of fun. And the more impactful part for me was after I taught, I got swarmed by people asking me like, "Hey, how'd you come up with this idea?" And my life completely sucks. I sell a lot of homes, and how do I get my life back? So, but Jesse was definitely the biggest thing for me. I don't sell homes personally anymore, so I didn't go to really any of the home selling classes. But the networking part alone, I've got 2 new partnerships I'm working on because of being there last week that I met that I didn't know these people. The people that you meet at these things is huge, but Jesse was powerful. I mean, that changed, it confirmed my thinking, so that's good.
Yeah, I think that was very powerful, and he had a lot of heart and soul in the talk that he gave, and there were a lot of great business tips there and how to run a business and how to lead with the heart and do the right thing for people. I thought that was really cool. I mean, he's a great speaker. If you've never seen him, I mean, I would urge you to go see him. But yeah, those are good points, Mitch. And I know it's something, I know you're swarmed with the modern team and how to use showing agents and so forth and pay based on events. I mean, we'll get into that another time. I think that's a whole mastermind that we could do, but that was really, really cool. And
I
thanks
am
for your
doing
input.
just real quick, I'm going to throw it in the chat. I am doing a webinar at 3 o'clock Eastern time today. No, a podcast with Sean Kokoska on this whole model. So if anybody wants to check it out, I'll throw the link in the chat.
Cool. Awesome. That's great. All right, let's go over to Dennis. Dennis, what did you get out of the conference? What were some of your biggest takeaways and what are you implementing?
So It's always good to see everybody, hang out with you, Pete, Mitch. You and I had some really good intimate moments in a good way. A lot of good, deep conversations. So it's just good. It's funny because, I know this is brand agnostic. I was with Remax for 19 years, Coldwell for 5. But honestly, you guys are my family. And I didn't have that at all these other brokerages as much as they claim they are. So, this is family. Everybody, Ross. This entire group right here on this screen is my family and all the participants. So it's really, that's really, really nice to have, right? So takeaways from the conference particular is just the global expansion was one of them that kind of highlighted to me. It sounds like Glenn Sanford, from what I'm understanding, is really taking a helm and going global with eXp, right? We're kind of dominating and continuing United States and Canada, but he sees the big prize is also international, right? Matt and Ross, you guys have some big stuff coming up soon that you guys can speak about if you choose. I think that's really exciting, right? Because the world's a big place, and I'm looking forward to traveling to all these places and meeting all these agents that are going to be coming aboard our cruise, right? One of the biggest things, Pete, to implement though is the fast cap program, right? I think that's a huge thing that everybody's not really paying attention to. That's been implemented. Let me put in the chat. I'm going to put a link in there in case anybody wants to see it. And that I'm going to really promote to my entire organization. So I think that's a big deal. There's a lot of agents that are just kind of stuck there and they don't know what to do, and they go to masterminds like this or other masterminds and talk to people, and nobody's really giving them solid, like, step-by-step advice on what to do, right? Because this business is challenging at times. So I think the fast cap program is the way to go. The results, you've seen the results, Pete. They're some of the numbers are staggering from the people that jumped into that program and implemented it. So I think that's the biggest, honestly, that's the one thing that I heard about, but I really didn't pay attention to until this conference. And now I'm really laser focused on a fast cap because I think that's the way to go to get agents that might be stuck plateauing at a certain point, but more importantly, newer agents that have done 0 to 3 deals maybe in their career. That's the program they all need to get into. Like, not maybe, like, they have to get into that program. It's free of charge from my understanding, so why not take advantage of it? So let's see what else here. I'm really bullish on our industry, you guys. We just went through a massive change, as we all know, talking about it for the last year. And I know everybody on this call hasn't skipped a beat. I'm talking to people every single day in my organization, and I'm asking them, how's it affected you? And they're all like, 0. No problems at all from what I've seen. So I'm sure there's some challenges out there, but for the most part, if you have the right mindset and the right skills, this whole commission thing is really, it's almost like a non-issue, really. We just have to do it differently than we did before, that's all. So I'm really excited about that because I think that was a big question mark in everybody's mind, is like, what's the industry going to be like moving forward after this? And from what I'm seeing, and maybe you guys can chime in on that, but I don't see any changes really. So I think it's great. That's what I have.
Yeah.
I think that's great stuff. The fast cap, what Dennis is talking about, you guys, is where when you belong to eXp, if you bring anybody in who's a newer agent or an agent that needs help in coaching, they will coach those agents for you and then give them back to either the mentor program or get them back into production in the marketplace. And I think it just helps us to help agents and help their journey. A lot of companies don't do that. They basically give you, well, they used to give you a phone and a lollipop. Now that I don't even know if they give you the phone or the lollipop anymore, in these times. But basically, they just tell you to go out there and sell real estate, and they have no rhyme or reason. I'm not knocking them. I belong to a lot of companies that I loved in the past. I just don't think they have the benefits that eXp has. And if you are an agent on here who's not with eXp, take a look at it, because I think it's a great platform for your business. And there's so many bells and whistles to it that can help your business and help your production. And you control your destiny, which is great. It's not where you're working for somebody else, you work for yourself. Go ahead, Randy.
I just want to piggyback off what Dennis said, because it's impactful. And I think another way to look at it too is, guys, for whoever's not at eXp that's here with us, like you need to also look into your own brokerage and see what they're offering, okay? Because I still have many agents in my own organization that have never heard of FastCap, even though it's been shouted from the rooftops for the last 6 months, okay? And it's just an example of agents not being engaged, right? And the grass isn't always greener, either. So we're not also telling you, oh, it's only eXp that has these amazing program, maybe, but look into your own brokerage, use what they offer, look into it. But I can tell you on the FastCap, Dennis, and everybody, I'm getting amazing feedback by, from the agents that have taken it through my organization. And then I've, had them share their testimonial in my team meetings. And then that triggered 2 more to sign up, right? This is the impact, right, of sharing. But the way he described it, he was like, guys, this was so awesome. This was so actionable, right? Designed with accountability. And they also give them the software, right, to track everything. So it's all digitalized, right? So they don't have to use their own spreadsheets or pen and paper. And he's like, this needs to replace the mentor program. He's like, and that's something I'm going to, try to talk to, our executive team to see if they can hopefully consider doing that in a new year. That's how good this program is, right? And it's free. Imagine, like, where are you going to find these type of programs? But you need to engage. So look to your own brokerage. If you don't have it, well, then that's a different story. Then you might want to talk to one of us, right, and get in with us. But if you do, take advantage of these things that the companies that you're part of are doing, because most agents are not. I'll stop there before or Pete, can I just share what my takeaway is real quick since I'm talking?
Sure. Yeah. Go ahead.
The deep conversation I had with Pete for about an hour by the bar at 1 a.m. That's one. But
well, it was midnight. It wasn't 1, but it was midnight. But go ahead.
Okay, midnight, perfect. But no, it was great. It was great to connect with many of you, and especially you, Pete, to go kind of deep on things. But my biggest takeaway, because I go there for the networking, guys, because I know I can find a lot of the topics online. The one that I did wanted to go see in person was on AI. And man, I'm like freaking blown away. So one of the things I'm going to work on is really engage in AI more. And I'll share with you the speaker that spoke so you guys can kind of go down the rabbit hole of AI with him. But what I liked about his presentation that he did is that he shared it on the screen, and he opened up the actual apps instead of others. They just talk like, oh, this is a good app for this is a good app for that. He actually opened up his computer. He's like, okay, let's look at this app and why I recommend it. And he would demonstrate it live, right? And that's what I like, right? And I think most people like it when it's actually shown to you on a screen in motion, right? And it blew my mind, man, like to the point where imagine you upload a quick video, and on the left screen on this app, you have the transcription of this video. It happens automatically, right? Well, then you're like, oh crap, man, I don't like the fact that I do a lot of like ums and this, and I have a lot of pauses. Boom, he's like, let me click this button. Boom, 2 seconds, all the ums are removed automatically. He went to another button, boom, all the spaces that are longer than 1 second were removed and condensed automatically, right? Then he's like, oh man, why did I say that? I shouldn't have said that. So then he went to the left where the words were written. He's like, let me remove this sentence. And then the video automatically just removed it. And when he played it, it was gone, right? He's like, but you know what? It would have been better if I actually added this. So then he went and just typed in another sentence, and then the AI would take that sentence and just insert it in his voice, because it already has his voice, into the video. And then he played it. He's like, boom. And that was not recorded originally, that sentence, but it's there now, right? So just think about the possibilities of what you can do with that. And I'll leave it there. But AI, that was my biggest thing of my biggest takeaway outside, of course, of networking. So I'll send you guys in the chat who we learned from, and good luck. It's a rabbit hole, but it's worth going down.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, and it's something that we all have to implement in our businesses. I know it's a heavy lift and it really confuses a lot of people. I'm confused half the time, but I think if you just implement one piece of AI, even if it's Chat GPT, and you start slowly with it, I mean, there's a lot of different resources, especially with eXp, that can help with all of that. And it'll definitely make your business more dynamic, and it'll save you time. You know, time's the key element. And I loved my conversation with Randy. I mean, I got to know him on a deeper level, and a lot of times we don't have time to connect like that. So it was really great to hear about his family and his girls and his journey and so forth. So that was really special to me. I think when you go to any type of event, the most important aspect to me and the biggest takeaways for me is building relationships and getting to know people on deeper levels, because everybody shares. You know, nobody holds things in or says, I can't share that with you. And that was a big thing for me. So I'm grateful that I had the time with Randy. And Randy, why don't you talk about, you did bring a big team and a big agent in that were, I think they were independent before. What did that agent think, or that team leader think of eXpCON?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so Steve, so
Steve
he
Freddie.
literally moved his Realty One brokerage over of 35 agents. I mean, he's not even done moving. He's in the middle of moving the brokerage. Like, so 20 or so agents already moved. He still has about 15. It's still in the process. So he literally just started, and they, you know, granted him a ticket to come and see what the experience is like at eXpCON. And he got there before me. And, you know, one of the ladies that flew out to his office that works for eXp helps with onboarding, which to me was awesome, right? It was such an amazing just testimonial of how well they do with bringing on big teams or brokerages. Literally, this lady flew out to his office and helped all the agents on board. Well, then he got to see her and meet her in person at eXpCON, and she just let him just be with him all day on that Monday because I couldn't get there soon enough. And she was just introducing him to everybody, right? At eXp, that she obviously knows from being an employee. So I think that went a long way of not feeling like I don't know anybody here, right? So that was a testament, right, to the company and how much they do care about relationships, right? And knowing that it's awkward to be the new guy, right? And this massive company that eXp is. So that made him feel really at home. And then I, of course, relieved her and then took over Monday night. And then I introduced, you know, him to you guys. So that was another great experience that we were able to have our happy hour together on Tuesday night. So then he got to meet you guys, right? And I had to explain to him, like, look, even though we're not all connected exactly and we're not all financially incentivized here, but this group, we all want to help one another, period. It doesn't matter where we are. And to him, that was a bit of like a shock, like, wow, like really, like these guys are, I'm like, yeah, this is how we work here. Like, you know, we want to just help one another. Like Pete Middleton, I told him, he had a billboard right outside my independent office for years when I ran my own brokerage. And I never wanted to approach the guy because I was freaking annoyed that he was with his billboard in my parking lot. But now, even though you can still say we're still in the same market, but now we're actually business partners and friends, right? And that's what eXp will do to you, right? It will bring us together, even though we're still technically competing in the same market, which is unheard of, right? So I think that was the big thing that he was able to take away pretty quick, right? Just the community, the family feel, the collaboration, us willing to share. Yeah, I think that would be the biggest thing for him right now. I mean, he's still drinking out of the fire hose, trying to bring in 35 agents. So it's a lot, as you guys know, who brought in brokerages. It's a process, but eXp is definitely helping him, making it easier.
Well, definitely, and send me Steve's information. I'd love to follow up with him. We had a lot of great conversations. We're from the same part of the country, so yeah, that was really
Steve is on the call.
him.
Steve just texted me. He's on the call. I didn't even know.
Oh, great. We should
well,
have Steve chime in.
We're gonna get him on a panel one of these days. Then, Steve, sorry, buddy, we'll get you on a panel next time. All right. Oh,
Well, he can add whatever he wants into the chat.
yeah,
So,
put in the chat
but
if you
thanks for
lose.
that. I loved meeting Steve. Steve was great.
Awesome.
And Steve, if you're listening, whatever I can do to help you and your team in your transition, just let us know. We're here to help, buddy. Randy, that was great. Why don't you mute? I'm going to work my way over to Matt Battiata because he was there. I'm sure he has a lot of great tips that he got out of eXpCON. Now Matt's not bragging. He's just applying for a job. And by the way, I just want to clarify something. My billboard above Randy's office was not antagonistic. All it said was, call me to sell your house. Don't go in the door below. That's all it said. And it pointed down at his office. So it was a great billboard. I get a lot of traction from it. Now I've changed it because he's my business partner and I don't want to irritate him. With that being said, Matt, what did you get out of eXpCON? What were some of your biggest takeaways and aha moments?
No, I'm always really interested in the international aspect of EXP and the expansion on the global level. And so for those of you that
And
were
why,
not at
Matt, let me interrupt. Why are you so interested in that? Expand on it.
well, yeah, so I mean, I love to travel, first of all, and I've done a lot of traveling with my family, and I see that as a huge potential for building rev share around the world. And so at eXpCon, first of all, they announced 3 new countries, which are the first 3 countries, the first new countries I think that we're opening up in the last 2 years, I believe. So the countries were Peru, Egypt, and Turkey. And Diane, who is not on the call, Diane Mills, who's not on the call today because she's up in San Francisco, she reached out to an agent that I did a transaction with here in San Diego, who's of Turkish descent, a guy by the name of Or Olson, who's an agent here in San Diego, but was literally about to leave. This was this summer. He was about to leave to go to Turkey to open up his own brokerage in Turkey. And we started talking with him about, look, there's a huge opportunity with EXP. It'd be much, what about considering doing it through EXP as opposed to on your own? And lo and behold, he came over to EXP, and he's going to be one of the first people to help. He's helping to open up the country of Turkey. And we also got to sit down and have a meeting with Felix Bravo and also our CEO, Glenn Sanford. And one thing that I thought was really, really interesting, big takeaway, is Glenn is now in charge basically of global expansion. And so he's kind of fast tracking things. And his perspective is that we should be able to. So EXP is right now roughly, I think, 85,000 agents. What everybody may not realize is about 80,000 of those 85,000 agents are in the US and Canada. So there's only about 5,000. We always say, well, we're in 24 countries, soon to be 27 countries, but the majority of those are in the US and Canada. There's only about 5,000 internationally. So Glenn's attitude is we should be able to double our agent count by expanding internationally. So in other words, attracting another 85,000 agents around the world. So to me, I just think that's a huge, huge opportunity. If anybody's on this call has contacts in countries that EXP is not in yet, you can bring those to the attention of EXP Global, and you can be involved in opening up a country, which is an unbelievable opportunity. What's interesting, for example, one of the biggest, well, there's a handful of the usual suspects, the companies that are around the world in Turkey. But what EXP is going to be offering to agents is so much better that I really think that EXP is going to really be able to dominate in a country like Turkey. So I just think it's really, really interesting and exciting. And, let's face it, it means you can go on these wonderful trips to all these beautiful exotic countries and you can write it off because they're all work trips. So to me, that was the biggest takeaway. Was I thought it was great that they announced these 3 countries. I always think it's interesting to think about, to hear where they're thinking of opening up next. I got to spend some time with Adam Day, who is the broker or the country leader for the UK, and hear some of, he knows a lot about what's happening in Europe and and then also hear what the challenges are in opening up foreign countries, because there are a lot of challenges because they're very different, obviously, than the United States. So I find that to be really, really exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah, I agree. I think anytime the world is shrinking, right? Boundaries are blurring. Anytime you're with a company that allows you to expand your reach and your relationships, right? And everybody has relationships to somebody else. There's no more 6 degrees of separation. I think it's 1 degree of separation. And it's really amazing when you talk to all these, we had all the international leaders there from Spain, Poland, Italy, France, Germany, South Africa, Puerto Rico, Hong Kong, Australia, New Zealand, Greece, Dominican Republic,
Spain. Yeah,
Panama,
Spain, Italy.
yeah,
There were lots of
Spain.
people. Yeah.
There was Germany. There was a lot of international people there, and they're so excited, you guys, because real estate's done differently over in those countries. And I talked to Adam at length too from Great Britain, and they're getting huge momentum because people love that the financial model has a cap, and that they get ownership in the country. I mean, the company, and that the company will share the revenue that comes in if they introduce agents to the company, and that it's by far fueling their business with technology and other aspects to really take them to the next level. So they're super excited. And, a lot of business is being done now between, say, Europe and the US and so forth. There's a lot of movement. So now they have resources and access to different real estate transactions all over the world, which is super exciting. Abu
Hey,
Dhabi
Pete.
is another one,
Yeah.
right?
And Pete, let me just say one other thing, which is I think a lot of people kind of overlook. The fact that we are in 24 and soon to be 27 countries around the world, and that you can give exposure to the listings that you're selling here in San Diego through our eXp network in 27 countries around the world is huge. I was on a listing presentation yesterday, and one of the reasons that they told me they decided to go with me was because of the international, the fact that we can give them their property exposure all over the world through eXp.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because a lot of people ask you when you go in to market their property, do you have a marketing plan, and how is that marketing plan going to benefit me? Because there are a lot of international buyers coming in. You have to remember, the United States real estate is the gold standard in the world, you guys, for investments. So if you can give exposure to your listings in the United States all over the world, it's pretty phenomenal. And like I said, I mean, we're in 28 countries, and we're really bridging out globally. Glenn and Leo are really motivated on it. Glenn's the founder of eXp, and Leo's the CEO, and they're very motivated in expansion to get into 50 countries in the next few years. So that's high on the list.
Hey, Pete, real quick for you, you would know this better. So I met a guy who's from Chicago. He's Polish, and he introduced me to the Polish broker. So I spent an hour talking to her, learning about the Polish market, because I'm Polish. So I have
well, there's not a lot of Polish people in Chicago, so that's unusual.
No, he's the only one, and he just happens to be at eXp. I mean, it's just wild. But so one thing he did, he's like, look, I knew someone that was developing, houses in Poland. I reached out to the broker, Olga, in Poland. She connected him to a realtor in that area. And then he signed a 50% referral agreement because he offered to market those properties to the US audience using the eXp luxury platform, because he could manually enter those listings in. And it blew that person's mind, like, wait, you're going to put it in Wall Street Journal and here and there and there. Yeah. He's like, I'm going to market it. Right. So he brought the marketing genius to the Polish agent and give that Polish agent even more value to offer to to the same seller that he just referred, if that makes sense. Right. So it just kind of expanded my mind. I was like, holy cow. I can literally, because I have connections there too, but anyway, like just if you just start understanding what's around us and what's available, you know, at EXP again, or at the brokerage you're at, and just engage and understand how you can put the pieces together, I mean, it's game over, man. Like you can do so many cool things. Like that was, anyway, that was a huge takeaway, Tim.
No, I love that. I love that input because it shows that the world is getting smaller and that you can expand your footprint and think bigger, right? A lot of people stay contained to their little area or their little sandbox when there's a huge beach out there. And you can play anywhere on the beach, which is great, and put your toes in the water anywhere. But you know, you just have to start digging. I remember at one of our breakouts with all the international people, we were talking about this and we said, look, just send a text to a few of your clients and say, listen, if you ever want to buy anywhere else in the world, I have you covered and we can help you find your dream home or your secondary home. Where is a place that you always dreamed you wanted to buy or live in? And this woman did it via text to like 10 of her clients while we were sitting in this breakout. And she got 3 responses where people said, I want to buy a place in Italy, or I want to buy a place in France, or I want to buy a place somewhere else. And they're looking right now. So that drove business them because they didn't realize that she had real estate connections over there. And she was able to put them in touch with these country leaders and get to the right agents. And by doing that, she's going to get paid. I mean, it's amazing. It's that easy. It's that close. And a lot of companies don't have that, you guys. So if you're missing that in your company, please take some time and thank the person that invited you to this mastermind, and ask them questions and ask them, you know, how does it work? And they'll explain it. If not, they'll get somebody who knows it inside and out to explain it. There's so many different options. You know, it's just really great. You know, at eXpCON 2, you guys, I just wanted to go over these things. A lot of big announcements came in. You know, one of the big announcements, like Dennis touched upon with the Fast Cap, where EXP will train your agents on a 6-week intense training course that they document all the results. And it really teaches them how to be good, productive agents. And they use a software called Sisu. And Sisu, a lot of teams use that type of software, but it tracks all the calls, all the appointments, all the showings, all these things that they do so they can get all the analytics on what is working, what isn't. And that's free. I mean, when I looked at it for my team, I have a team of 10, it was going to cost me, I think, $2,500 a month or $2,000 a month to use that software. Now, everybody, when you are part of EXP, because we own the company, right? You get that as part of being at EXP. Also, they announced that you would get Canva Pro. Canva Pro is unbelievable. So that's where all your marketing is in there, all your templates, everything that you can create in there. E-newsletters, postcards, flyers, presentations, everything will sit in there, and you get that for free. I mean, that would typically cost you thousands of dollars a month. So those were 2 big announcements. I mean, my favorite announcement, the whole thing that I've been pushing for a year and a half, and just to show you that leadership does listen at this company, and then they implement, is they bought a company called LuxVT. Now, LuxVT is the company that I brought in, and this is what we built eXp Luxury around. They're the cornerstone to all the marketing and placement of all the advertising and marketing throughout the world for eXp Luxury. So now we acquired them, and they are exclusively with eXp Luxury. That was one of the biggest announcements, because now no other company can utilize their services, and especially with the way that they expose our properties and get our luxury properties out there. So that was a big thing for me, a big aha moment, a big win. I felt as if I had been heard finally. And like I said, I commend the leadership on implementing that and getting it done, because that was super important for eXp Luxury. So, you know, now they'll broadcast your listings in 90 different publications all over the world, which is really cool.
And
I
Pete,
know
thanks
Brian
for doing
and
that, by the way. Sorry, Pete, thanks for doing that, by the way, man. Stepping up.
yeah, and then Brian and Cam and Dave were not able to make it this year. I know they'll make it next year because I'm gonna guilt them into it. And next year we're only 357 days away. It's October 20th to the 23rd in Miami again. And right now they're doing the early bird signups. So you save, I think you save $50 or $75 on your tickets, or maybe it's more, maybe it's $100 on your tickets. So sign up today. It's like I said to everyone, if you just start today and you get a big jar, right? Could be anything. And you put $10 a day into that jar and you don't touch it. By next year, your whole experience at eXpCON will be paid for. You won't have to worry about it, So I'd buy the ticket today, put it on your credit card. It'll be life-changing. I'm telling you, some of the things the connections I made and things I was able to create relationship-wise when I was there was worth the price of admission times 10, in my opinion. So I know Brian has his hand up. Brian, go ahead.
Thanks, Pete. Well, I have FOMO, like I put in the chat, and I want to give you an analogy because what Mitch said earlier struck with me, and this is why I have so much more FOMO now. Is because before COVID, Randy and I, when we were with a different brokerage, our own brokerage, we were connected to a machine similar to what we're dealing with today. And you mentioned Jesse Itzler, Mitch. You got a chance, like what the impact that you felt, right, by listening to him. So the company we were with hired Jesse to be there. And there's nothing better than seeing and hearing something in person because you take so much more away. Like right now, if you're watching this video and hey, Steve, you're using one sense, you're not using all your senses. When you're in person, you're not only there mentally, but you're there physically. You're shaking hands, you're seeing people, the experience. It's like going to a concert and being there for, your favorite band and you hear it and it was the most live, epic performance. And then you listen to it on the radio and it always takes you back to that day you heard that song. So with Jesse Itzler, we were so blessed that our company actually brought David Goggins in as well. And so David Goggins is the guy that trained Jesse Itzler to have the mindset. And I can go back, as soon as you brought up his name, Pete or Mitch, I was like, man, I was right back where I was 7 years ago, building this company and being a part of this. And so there's so much FOMO. And this, like you're saying, I'm jealous of the handshakes, the talks, to be there and to step out. But the thing I want to leave everybody with is this is the biggest aha moment for me that I've ever had in this real estate business, is that the whole time I was with my other brokers and I was building those brokerages and I was training those agents and I was working hard for my broker. Number one, I never got stock from those brokers to build a team and to build what I need to build to feel like I'm contributing into this massive movement. But number two was I realized that all of the realtors were my clients. They were our clients. That's who we actually had to nurture, and because they were our clients. With this company, every single one of you are not mindseted about your clients. The fiduciary that we have to the marketplace is our focus. And since we're all focused on this fiduciary to bring our agents into a lifestyle where they're not a client of us, their clients are their clients, and they are like this mindset broker now that gets to go out and expand with all these tools you guys are talking about. Those are impacting our clients, not our agents. Because every single person here has a bunch of clients, and those clients are way better than having to just nurture and stress over another agent. Like Ross isn't stressing over having 200 team players. Every single one of them they have clients, and he no longer has to focus on them as his clients because they're not what's making him any money. It's what he's put together. So I just love this company. I love what all of you are. I do have. I don't know, Cameron, you're in Florida. I'm in California. So the FOMO that I have, you know, is I couldn't get over there in time to go through it all. You might have been able to drive there, so I want to hear why you weren't there, but maybe it was personal. So
No. So I wanted to be there so bad. I actually had tickets and everything. We were dealing with a personal deal that I had to get. Market's tough right now, so we got an offer. I was working it, and it drug out through the weekend, and then we had the pet day. It was just life, you know, and it just happened right around that time. But I missed out, man. I saw a lot of the cool stuff that we had dropped. No one mentioned the incentive programs for Icon and Cap. That's huge, you guys, for the rev sharing, rev share, how it qualifies you more. That's really big time. I mean, cool stuff there. I know Pete already mentioned the Canva, getting everyone access to that. It's not saving $1 million, but it all adds up. And you know, as realtors, we all know that it feels like every month it's $800, $1,500, $20, $50, and having another one of those taken care of as part of what we're already paying for is just, it's something that's valuable for every single one of us. And, you know, I always love going to them. I love eXpCON. I love the shareholders events, being together, getting together. That is the incredible part about this, is that we are not just local, we're, you know, nationwide, worldwide, but then you can get together and it really does feel like we're all just best of friends. Like we're, you know, like we seen each other last week. So, I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm really excited about the direction this you know, we're taking this and where we're going, and the way that everyone is working together with it, because that's what sustainability is. You know, obviously the quarterly profits are coming out, and we're seeing a lot of that with all the different companies, and it's great to see sustainability because, yeah, I'm younger. As a lot of you guys. You're growing the business throughout, and it's great to see. And when you're there in person, you can feel it, the energy and the excitement, and you can really see, like everyone was talking about, the international growth. You guys buy in. It's time. I mean, you got to focus on yourself, but if you surround yourself by the high energy, by the excitement, by the people that want to make a difference, not only in their own businesses, but in all of our businesses, that's where you're getting the growth from. That's where you're getting that success. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to see you guys here in a few months at shareholders when it comes up, and obviously be at the next eXpCON too.
Is there a shareholders? Guys, is there shareholders this year?
That's what I was about to say. There's not.
I think they did away with that.
No, there's going to be regionals for alphas and betas, but there's not any shareholders anymore. There is, you know, eXpCON Canada is April 1st to the 4th in Montreal, which would be a great one to go to. The one after that is eXpCON Europe in Barcelona. That's June 22nd to the 25th. That would be beautiful to go to.
I saw that. That one I was really high on. I was thinking Barcelona would be the trip to go on this year.
That'd be awesome. Well, Matt's going to be there. We're going to put Matt in the bull ring with one of those bull ring, you know, one of the bullfighter outfits on, and we're going to see if he can dodge the bull. And then eXpCON next year is in Miami, and that's October 20th to the 23rd. So those are the dates. Put them down, start making arrangements, because I think Brian said it best. And yes, Brian, I am trying to kill you with FOMO, because I believe that in the old saying that Warren Buffett said, you know, the best investment you can make in life is the investment in you and growing and educating yourself and being at places where you grow. And eXpCON is one of those types of things, you guys. Now, here's the added bonus. If anybody on this call is not with eXp, and you're not with eXp by then we're going to have a psychological examination done on you. But there is a way to go to eXpCON where you don't have to pay for the ticket. It's called an Explorer Pass. So if you do have friends that are with other brokerages and they'd like to take a look at it, they can always come with you. Once you buy a ticket, you can get an Explorer ticket pass for one person who wants to come and check it out, which is really cool.
Is Randy still with us, or is it just his face here? Something, Matt. Oh, there he is. Randy, just real quick. You know, we brought on this other amazing company that fits what you guys were, Matt, you were talking about, the international. Randy, share like a 30-second commercial on the international surf properties.
Oh, yeah, I put it in the chat. International surf properties. So this is a husband-wife team from San Clemente, and you know, the main reason they came is because of our global reach. They sell properties in different countries around the world, around different surf type cities, because they're all into surfing. Well, they all, meaning them too, especially the husband, but also the community that they built. So it's pretty amazing what they built. And same thing, I had him talk to Felix, right, from Global on Zoom prior to, you know, eXpCON. They unfortunately couldn't make it. They were trying to, but anyway, it's just incredible what they're doing. And they were like, we are stuck with the company we are. They're not helping us with our global reach. And we need to expand our business and have, you know, be part of someone that's like understands the connection between us, the US, the global. And when they met with Felix from eXp global team, like it was like done. Like then they moved their license and now we're strategizing on, you know, there might be an opportunity, what Matt Battiata mentioned, opening up Costa Rica. They have a lot of connections in Costa Rica. So anyway, it's just cool, man. Like all these random things can happen. You just when you have access to so many teams and opportunities. So yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Let me just pop in real quick, Pete. One of the things they also announced at eXpCON is a partnership. When you sponsor somebody in a foreign country or in a foreign region. So, for
Right.
example, you know, this would count for Turkey and certainly Europe, right? When you sponsor somebody, you can kind of co-sponsor them with with an agent that's in that country or in that region. And the whole idea is I think in the past people would, you know, you sponsor an agent in, let's say, Brazil, but you're not in Brazil. You don't really know anybody in Brazil besides this one individual. Therefore, that individual might feel like he's kind of on an island and you're not really there to support him. But when you sponsor that individual in a different country, you can co-sponsor basically with an agent that's local, and that way that agent will be more connected to all the other agents in that country and so forth. And I think the way it works is you're sponsoring them, they're going to go on your first level, but the agent in the country gets the first, I don't know, gets the first level of rev share or something like that, and you get the second.
Yeah, the
I don't
agent
know
in the
exactly how it
country
works. I don't know. Maybe you
gets
do,
the
Pete.
rev share. Yeah, the way that works is the agent in that country would get the first tier of revenue share from EXP, but they count as an FLQA under you. That's how that works.
Okay, right.
So you get the
Gotcha.
FLQA, they get the rev share, right? And leading into
Just
that,
on the
that's a good
first
lead
level,
in,
correct?
just on the first level. And you know, the great part about something like that is you have to always do the right thing, you know, which takes me back to back in May or June. I had a dear friend of mine's son looking to get into real estate out in Salt Lake City and Park City. And of course, the first person I thought of is Dave Luxury Lawson, right? He's a legend out there. And Dave has a great team and great training system and so forth. So what was I going to do there? Because this young man kept saying to me, hey, I want you to train me, but I wasn't in his market. And I could have certainly done the selfish thing and said, yeah, come under me and I'll try to train you each week and you're going to be kind of by yourself there. Or I could reach out to Dave and say, hey, Dave, would this person be a good option for you on your team? And what we ended up doing is we put him on Dave's team, and he's flourished and I'm super grateful to Dave because he's really doing great and he's following Dave's systems and procedures. And that's a testament of what Dave does. I mean, he creates great agents, and that's what he did. So Dave, I want to talk to you about that. And also, you know, and they didn't have this program in place. If they did, you know, it would have benefited both of us. But listen, it benefits everyone in the long run. I know you weren't able to make it. You were changing offices, but some of your team made it. What was their feedback on the conference?
Yes, that's what I was going to say. So we're growing so fast. If you know agents in the Salt Lake or Park City market, send them to me. We're hiring right now. I looked. Last week, we did 13% of the business on our MLS last week, and there's 1,500 agents. We had a, you guys, a lot of you have been to our office. We had a great office. Now we have a bigger and nicer, a better office. It also, I have to admit that it also, what my wife set up, and that there was a couple of days that were conflicted because of all my travel and work and stuff. We ended up going on a cruise for a couple of days. So I have to admit that that was a little bit of it. But what I did is instead I sent Adam, my sales manager, and 5 of my agents, and I asked some of them what they got out of it. First of all, Adam, the sales manager, said he went to the session where there were teams, some of the top 5, 8, 10 teams. He not only did talk to them and communicated and collaborated, but he got a bunch of great ideas that he came back. The eXp luxury, he goes, this where he really understood how eXp luxury, people don't go from selling $500,000 houses to 15 million. And he said, oh, wow. They really had me think a little bit different. Like, hey, I can go from 500 to 1 million and 1 million to 1.5 million. And he goes, that was an aha. And 3 or 4 of the agents said Jesse's speaking was just unbelievable. And then Jet, your friend, or the kid, he came on.
Yeah.
His first sale on our team was only $2.8 million. And I think he has 4 properties under contract right now. And he's killing it because he just listens to what we say. And he doesn't, he was so new that he didn't know any other way. And so we said, do this, and we showed him what to do. And, he's killing it. So thank you for sending him, and thanks. And I am never missing another eXpCON. So.
Well, Dave, the dates. It's October 20th to the 23rd in Miami. So make sure you get your full white outfit, right? So you'll fit in Miami. Dave's going to go as Don Johnson, and he'll probably race some cars while he's down there at the Motor Speedway, which isn't far from there. But I think that's what we should do. We should have a race off the day before, and we should go to the International Speedway and race stock cars around. And
that's right.
Rubbing is racing. That's it. But I think that's the big thing. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for that feedback. And it was great seeing a lot of your team members. So guys, just remember, even if you can't make it, send the people in your organization or your teams to go there, and then get back and get together with them and sit down with them and say, okay, what were your ahas? What were your takeaways? What are you going to put into action? How did it inspire you? What did you love about it? What can I do for you? What do you need help with? Because that's really the main thing, is you want to show value and how you can help them, whether you're there or not. There's ways to implement a lot of things, but I'll tell you, this company is growing leaps and bounds, and it's going in the right direction, and the future is bright. So that's what I would say. And invite people to this mastermind each week, you guys. Typically, we're not talking about eXp. We're talking about real topics that you can use in your business to do more production. This week, we just wanted to summarize some of the advantages and different tools that we are using to do more production. So that was the big thing. But I want to thank everybody for being on. Dave, thanks for being on and for all that you do, and Brian and Ross and everybody else. In the chat, I just wanted to mention in the chat, you guys, is the video of Jesse Itzler. So I would click on that and download it. Okay. And then we'll see everybody next week. Same bat channel, same bat time, and we'll give all types of tips. So invite some people to the mastermind, and let's go from there. Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Pete. Good job.
Later.